Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. And we've got a lot of books today. These were released on March 19th, 2014. However, before we start the review, there are some announcements, because I know a lot of you guys don't follow my Twitter, because I really don't put too many tweets out there. I am going to start using Twitter a little bit more for announcements and stuff, especially because the message board on YouTube stinks now, and I know a lot of people don't even bother with it.
Oh, you mean the feed? Yeah.
Yeah, the feed thing. It's not that good.
They got rid of it.
Oh, go figure. So anyway, they got rid of the feed, so now I've been using Twitter anyway. I use Twitter for a lot of my major announcements, and after The Walking Dead, I actually made 3 major announcements for this channel. I'll give you guys the briefing on it. For those of you that checked out my Twitter, you know this already a day in advance. First thing is the comic reviews are moving back to Tuesdays. As you guys can see, Mike and I have a lot that we read. And for the past couple of weeks, actually for the past 20-something weeks, since we started the indie reviews, our weekends have been dedicated to reading indie reviews on Saturday, and then the big 2 books on Sunday, and basically our entire weekend is dedicated to reading, and it cuts off a lot of our extra videos that we are trying so hard to do for Comic Frontline and everything else. So, originally, my reviews were on Tuesdays. At night, as a matter of fact, I uploaded them. I'm going to be moving the comic review as of next episode. By the way, last episode, the indie review that went up before this was the 875th video, I believe, on my channel.
Oh wow!
If I'm not mistaken. But anyway, we are going to be moving the reviews starting next week back to Tuesday, meaning we're going to be filming on Monday. This way we give ourselves a little bit of a break during the weekend so we could actually have more time to do other videos for other channels that we're working with. I mean, we do BBZ Cast now. Second announcement, which is Outside the Pages and Comics Point 3. A lot of people have been asking me about it. I did not cancel those shows. However, those shows might be going from a video format to a podcast format, where instead of doing it with a camera, we're going to be doing vocal recordings and making them into podcasts, a combined podcast, not 2 separate podcasts, one big podcast. Once again, this is something I'm working on, but this is closer to the near future that it's going to happen. The way distant future, we were asked if we were ever going to do top 5s or top 10s. I'm working on an idea for a top 5 series that will be posted in the middle of the week on this channel, which will basically be our top 5 books of the week, or our top 5 something for somebody, for something, whatever. But I am working on that too. But the main thing is you guys need to know that starting next week, Tuesday, is when you're going to be seeing these comic reviews. So they're going to be a day later than you've been seeing. This way it gives us a little bit more time to read the books, because we're going to be getting a lot of books soon.
Thoughts as well.
Yeah, and give us a break also in between, because it's a lot of reading that we've been doing, and there's a lot of books, and there's a lot more coming. And also it's apocalypse for a lot of comics, because a lot of new comics are coming out. 3 weekly series are going to be starting up. That means any average to below average book is going to get cut. So
same thing for my pile.
Let's get into the book, because we've wasted a nice amount of time already on this. We've wasted about 4 minutes on this. Superior Spider-Man Team-Ups issue 11. Honorable mention more than anything else. It is a tale that's going on, and we do have Superior Spider-Man 20. Actually, right before Superior Spider-Man 20 kicks off, where Spider-Man 2099 and Doc Ock Spidey are fighting the Spider Slayers that are now being controlled by the Green Goblin. And Doc Ock recollects back to years later, where Norman Osborn and Doc Ock decided they were going to team up to destroy Spider-Man, and Doc Ock's working on some type of and Norman are working on a plan that they're going to set into motion against Spider-Man. However, Green Goblin kind of makes it a bit personal against Doc Ock. And we all know Green Goblin's a bit psycho.
Oh, what is psycho?
Actually, it's a connecting cover. The next issue is going to be Doc Ock teaming up with Spider-Man. Why? The last page of this issue. Is this something you need right now for Superior Spider-Man? No. You don't need it. This is an extra story. As a matter of fact, I believe the next issue is probably going to be the last. Anything with the Superior title is going to be ending once Amazing starts up. Or maybe it'll continue for a while, but eventually all the Superior titles are going to drop. Will there be another Spider-Man team-up book? Of course there will be. Give it time. Give it time. Hawkeye issue 18. This book is on the block for tentative dropping. Unfortunately, because it's taken forever to come out. The story is divided between Kate and Clint. And finally, in this issue, actually, Kate's going to be starting to connect back to Clint because she knows what's going on now, that there's a hit put out on Clint because of what's going on. But now, after this issue, Kate's stuck in Los Angeles because we find out that mystery guy that's been talking to her, the one in the suit, always in the store, his name is Harold, and he...
Harold?
Don't ask.
It's like Mario and Luigi Mario?
But apparently Madame Mask and her father, he did something he shouldn't have. Read the book if you're really that interested. And he is never allowed to leave Los Angeles. He cannot leave California. No matter what, he can never leave. And every time he attempts to leave, he gets stuck there. So Kate kind of saves him from getting jumped and actually puts him on a plane outside of Los Angeles. Unfortunately, and Madame Mask actually sends her a note, and unfortunately, Harold does not make it out of California. Well, he does, but not the way everybody thinks. And Madame Mask has made her move against Kate and says, now, just like Harold, you will not leave.
Aren't you going to show some artwork?
Oh yeah, I'll show some artwork. She's not going to leave Los Angeles unless she leaves the exact same way Harold left. And that kind of gives you guys a gist of what happened to Harold. And here's her house aflame because there's Mask for you. So now Kate's in a bind, Clint's in a bind, and I'm interested, but at the same time I feel like it's all over the place now, and I feel like Matt Fraction kind of gave up on this book, especially after getting put on another book, which we all know what those books are. It started off really awesome. However, next issue is going to determine whether I will be keeping Hawkeye or whether I will be dropping Hawkeye. And to be honest, we are 18 issues in already, and we haven't even passed the first story arc, really we haven't, because it's all connected to the same thing. Right. It's all connected to the same thing, except now it branches off to Kate. And, yeah, it's like two stories in one. It's hard to describe, but Hawkeye was really good, but at a very quick and concerning pace, it's becoming one of the least cared about books in my pile. Due just to everything that's gone on in the book. Amazing X-Men issue number 5. Basically, this is the series that brought Nightcrawler back to life. And he's back. In this issue, he comes back to life. And he actually drags Azael back with him. And Professor Xavier's in this book. At least that's what we're led to believe. Do I truly and honestly believe that's Professor Xavier in heaven? I don't know. I don't know if it was a trick or if it was something along the lines of, like, Professor Xavier saw that Nightcrawler went back, so he's thinking about going back. If that is the real Professor Xavier. But either way, the X-Men leave Hell. It was a nice action-packed issue with Nightcrawler versus Azael and the X-Men versus Azael's crew. Again, though, this book was basically the premise of bringing Nightcrawler back, which they did. And Ed McGuinness's artwork, especially with Nightcrawler, is just wow. He catches Nightcrawler amazingly. And it ends with Kurt being home. However, the cost was his read the book. Next issue is Kurt coming face to face with his mother for the first time since he's been since his rebirth, so to speak. So I feel like Amazing X-Men is going to center around Nightcrawler, which is fine for now, but when the actual Nightcrawler book comes out, which I believe it's coming out in a month or two, where Amazing X-Men will be, I have no idea. Amazing basically is here to take the place of Astonishing, but again, Astonishing X-Men I dropped as well. How many X-Men books can one person read? I know Uncanny has gotten very boring from what I heard. I'm going to get into All New X-Men in a bit, and Amazing X-Men did what it was meant to do. Now the question is, can it hold its own now after the initial story arc? And I'll be around. I did enjoy this book, and I love Ed McGuinness's artwork, so I will stick around. I guess we'll just have to wait and see where this book goes from here. But I will be continuing Amazing X-Men for now. Empire of the Dead, Act 1, issue number 3.
Parental advisory.
Yes, this is definitely an adult book. You have the mayor still campaigning to be the mayor again. There's a vampire vendetta. You've got the doctor working with Agent Xavier, who is a zombie now, but she can still think logically. She can act like a human. She just can't talk. That's her problem. And Xavier, they take her to a basketball range. You see the zombies are actually starting to think on their own, like they're not mindlessly eating people anymore. One guy's actually spared because the zombie just wants him out of his way to go. Where? At the moment, I believe they're going towards the city. Xavier somehow breaks away, and that's kind of how the issue leaves off. The doctor says not to shoot that. She was loose before and she didn't hurt or kill anybody or eat anyone. So maybe she's looking for a way to survive. And then, I forgot what his name was. He basically says, yeah, but will people in this city survive her? And that's kind of where it's left off. So it was a really quick read, and I feel like there definitely has to be another act after this because I feel very like I need more. After reading this book, I feel like I want more, but not in the case like, oh, I read this, it's awesome, I want more. It's more like I read a nice amount, but I feel like I wanted more in this book, in the book itself. However, it's very strong. If you like zombies, if you like Night of the Living Dead, the original, because obviously it's not like the 1991 version, then you'll want to see this because this is continuing it. It's George A. Romero's writing, and he's an awesome writer. He did an awesome job with Night of the Living Dead, and I'm enjoying this book. I just feel like there should be more to it. However, what can you do? Notice also it's a $3.99 book, but there's no bonus downloadable content. I don't believe they did that in this book. I want to actually check to make sure I'm not wrong. No, there's no bonus downloadable content, yet it's a $3.99 book. So, thanks Marvel. $3.99, no free download code. I don't care because I don't do them anymore, but still. Guardians of the Galaxy, issue 13, the final part to the trial of Jean Grey, and could anybody tell me what? I feel like I'm trashing most of the beginning books, but the honest to God truth is I did like some of these books. It's just the Hawkeye book that I really was not happy with. Can anybody tell me what the purpose of this story arc was, other than the final page, where a lot of revelations happened at the end of the story arc? There was really nothing going on as far as Jean Grey. Jean Grey was supposed to be the focal point. The trial of Jean Grey, the Phoenix. Number one, there's no Phoenix in this book. Jean Grey doesn't Phoenix out, nothing. It's the... oh God, what was her name?
Wasn't Queen
Oracle
supposed to go Phoenix?
Yeah, but Oracle goes into Jean Grey's head and she says she realizes that Jean Grey's mastered more of her psychic and telekinetic powers, and she's kind of something else now. She's not the Jean Grey from their time. She's actually mastered and learned more at a younger age. So now Jean is like this purple highlighted person. It's not the Phoenix though. The Phoenix is still in her, but she's not Jean Grey, and she tries to say who she is, but then Gladiator kind of hits her and it interrupts her speech of who she is now. But yeah, she's just a floating purple chick now. Yeah, mastery of all of her psychic and telekinetic powers.
That doesn't make sense at all.
In the end, they basically kick Gladiator's butt. Gladiator leaves, the Guardians, the X-Men win. And not even halfway, we are right past halfway through the book, they're back sitting in a spaceship again, talking. And they go home. So the ending is Kitty and Peter Quill might have this thing going on at some point. Jean Grey, we find out, is not, is something more than what she was before. Like, she's different. And here's the revelation that everybody saw coming, especially after the announcement of Cyclops' ongoing series. Cyclops decides he's going back with his father into space and he's leaving the X-Men. So the all-new X-Men basically have lost another one of their members. They lost Angel when he joined the Uncanny. Now they're losing Cyclops because he wants to go follow his dad in space and go up and have space adventures with his father, to be continued in Cyclops issue #1, which I will be getting because I'm interested in seeing what exactly is going to be going on there.
The Adventures of Father and Son.
Yeah, and Jean's not too happy about this at the end of the issue. You want to see that final image? You got to read this book. However, I feel like this whole story arc wasn't needed because all that happened here is we find out that Jean Grey is different, which, to be honest, I could have told you that before this story arc, that she's not the same Jean Grey that we all knew, who grew up to be the Phoenix and then did all this other stuff. I could have told you that she's different because she knows everything now. She knows about her powers already, she knows about what she's done, and she knows about the Phoenix. Of course she's mastered something more than what her previous, her younger self, because she knows now. Did Jean know in the past what she was going to do? No.
Well, no.
When you know what you're going to do in the future, you can prevent it or you can change things. You know that you're this powerful now. You can learn to master the skills before you lose control of them. The only revelation that happened in this book is Cyclops found his dad and has left Earth and has chosen to travel with his father. Does this impact the Guardians of the Galaxy? Absolutely not. The next issue, it's like nothing ever happened. They're going off on their own adventures again. All New X-Men are, however, going to continue with the ramifications of what's happened here. They lost Cyclops. Jean is something different now. And what's next? And Laura, a.k.a. X-23, is part of the all-new X-Men. So now she's part of their team. What's going to happen? That's all you're left with. And again, we didn't need a 6-part story arc that was supposed to focus around Jean Grey, which didn't really. It did, but it didn't. Just to find out that Cyclops is leaving and all this other stuff that happened. So, next is your book.
DeadPool, issue number 26. We go into a little bit of a randomish, history-like book.
Well, it's supposed to be a divider, because now the next issue is $10. It's the marriage, it's his wedding and everything, and that's...
Yeah, but we'll get to that. So basically, it starts off where Hitler just has this rivalry against Nick Fury because of, you know, how everything changed and whatnot. So he finds a time traveler and defeats the time traveler. Now, he wants to go back in time because he wants to undo many of his mistakes. Basically, not in a good way, in a bad way. And that's to kill Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. I did, however, find this artwork a little bit sketchy, kind of.
It's supposed to look old.
It's supposed to look old, but I found it classically sketchy. In a good way. I don't mean in a bad way. So then, Nick Fury and DeadPool, they have their conversation.
Even this, see, this was part of the old comics, not part of the new comics, where
right.
They had that little band at the top.
Yeah, and this is in 1954, by the way, when they get to that. And Nick Fury sees a newspaper of Nick Fury dead, you know, because of all this time traveling and stuff. So DeadPool tells him that Hitler has the time traveling machine, and because he wasn't aware about that, and he's just been going around doing stuff, basically changing history, just like what you said about Jean Grey before, you know, about preventing it or changing it. So it's like really action-packed though, including this part where Hitler gets like a big robot and everything, and trying to kill Hitler and all that. So things don't really look good for Nick Fury and DeadPool, but then Cable, he comes in, and I knew he was going to come in because he has to go back to the future, and he does so, and Cable manages to defeat Hitler, and they shot him, sent him back to 1945, and that's where he committed suicide, basically, because he didn't like, you know, how things turned out. So interesting read. It's going to be continued way back in DeadPool issue number 20. I don't know why they're going back. See, this is what I mean about time traveling. The only reason why I'm sticking around is because I want to see the wedding. And if everything...
You're going to pay $10 for the wedding? The issue's $10.
Well, that is upon how many comics. you know.
Fair to say.
But I'm telling you right now, if it's gonna go wiggity whacking everywhere, probably maybe drop it. Because, I mean, it was a okay story. I mean, if you like history with ratifications and stuff like that, then I guess read it, because I hate Hitler a lot.
Survive. Issue 1, it's a one-shot. It takes place after what happened in the Ultimate Universe. So, the Ultimate Universe survived Galactus at the cost of Thor, who went with Galactus into the negative zone, and Captain America, who disappeared because there is no body. I don't care what anybody says that he's dead. There's no body. If there's no body, he isn't dead.
They just claim like saying, "Oh, he's dead."
Yeah, he's dead. All they found was his shield. So I'm telling you, Steve Rogers is somewhere. They're just not going to show him right away.
Why would you do that? Saying,
but they're at his funeral, and Tony Stark is giving the eulogy. And as the eulogy is going on, it branches off into different stories of the after effects of extinction. And the first one is with Director Chang, or Agent Chang, who, well, I don't want to give her story away too much. Then it goes off to Sue Storm, who finds Reed in the old Baxter building, and this is all obviously leading into the startup again of the Fantastic Four book, where she actually does ask him about what he saw in the other Marvel universe, in the 616 universe, and he says about the daughter, happily ever after, yada yada. And she's like, "We're not getting back together." He's like, "Clearly we're not," but he wants, you know, what happened there. He wishes could have happened there, and all the possibilities, her father's dream and ideas and stuff. And he already knows that S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to disband. It's going to cease to be. We then go back to the eulogy again, and then we go to a scene with Kitty Pryde. We then go to another scene with Spider-Man, and then in the end is the announcement of the new Ultimates, or the Young Ultimates, which leads into the Ultimates
and the Spider-Man you mean is Miles Morales Spider-Man, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And also the Kitty Pryde thing is leading into the Ultimate X-Men book. So basically, this is the end of, you know, what happened, and now this is a big teaser or a setup for what's to come in the Ultimate Universe, namely Miles Morales Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, and Ultimates. This is basically your setup issue.
So it's all over. Combined to one.
Yeah, Extinction is over now, and now we are in the new Ultimate Universe, which I'm not going to call the Ultimate Universe now. They're just going to continue forward and change the titles up a bit and renumber the issues again, because that's what Marvel's oh so good at doing.
Yeah, every time they change their company, their names and stuff like that.
Final issue.
War Omega. It's the final issue to the 8-part epic story. Not to take epic story from what we do on Brooklyn Boys 13. Just saying that's what it's.
War.
Yeah, and here's what really got me interesting, and I really did not see this coming.
Interested. Keep
yeah.
going.
Oh. Remember the person we saw at the end where this new guy, Lord. What was his name? Like he was. No, like he was in like the last issue at the very end of the page. Like I can't remember what his name was. Well, basically he's actually Kill Power, and Kill Power's the one that worked with Motor Mouth because they were together, and then they went to hell. Well, Kill Power went to hell, and he felt that since nobody really cared about his death, he decided to go on his own merry ways and to become something to get his revenge. We got nice pages over here with great artwork, by the way, of you know, all the stuff that's going on. Meanwhile, Death's Head 2 appears in this issue. Like basically everybody we see, Captain Britain, all the people we saw from the
previous miniseries
are basically going after that big guy. I just can't remember. I'm gonna call him
the Lord.
Kill Power, because that's who he really was.
Yeah, so they go after Kill Power. That's who he really was. That's his name.
So Motor Mouth, she makes an appearance, and you know, she doesn't want to really hurt him, but she's trying really to save the world because he just wants to destroy it. And there's just like a whole bunch of other things that I really don't want to give away, but it's a lot of things, and definitely a way of ending it with Captain Britain, of course, you know, bringing greatness to a great future. But I was pretty satisfied with it. I mean, it was a little...
All in all, how would you rate Revolutionary War? Something for everybody to read?
To know about their origins that leads into this, I would say 4 out of 5 for the whole series.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair.
It was a little bit up and down, but I would say I give it a 4 out of 5. And,
this I would believe when you say it's going to be a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, and Book of the Week, all new X Factor, issue number 5.
We have 2 minutes before we have to go to commercial break, so make it quick.
So I'll try to make it quick, and can't rush these things. So, Danger is the new member who joined the X Factor. Meanwhile, Harrison actually is saying that there is this person who is coming to the Seville Industries. And Servo Industries. I don't know. I keep saying Civil. I don't know why. And, you know, so he meets up with him. And I can't get the name because I'm being, you know, rushed to finish this. But basically, he comes over there and he wants to buy out the X Factor team and the company. And Harrison's saying, you know, it's not for sale and everything. And there's a little bit of the thing where the guy who went there isn't really human. If you want to know who he is, read the book. Because it gets really something else with a long, huge battle. And I believe that's... this one?
It might be.
Because of the psychic? Yeah, there's someone that comes in the end. I'll just say his name, Doug Ramsey. And if any of you know who it is, I think I know who it is from the other X Factor. And if he joins the team, because he does psychic powers and all that, that would actually be pretty interesting and a good addition to the X Factor team. I would say much. So, if you want, you could comment saying who Doug Ramsey is, and
yeah,
you know, just let me know.
So we are going to take our commercial break.
Even though I know who he is. I just want them to know.
Done.
I'm done, yeah.
So we're going to take our commercial break now, and we will be right back. We have 2 more Marvel books, 2 heavy books, 2 really good books this week from Marvel, and then we're going to go into DC Comics and close out the show. So stay tuned, and we will be right back after these messages. Alright, welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review, and we are in the top 2 books, at least in my opinion, from Marvel this week. Silver Surfer issue number 1 opens up with these 2 twin sisters, Eve and Dawn. Eve wants to travel the world. Dawn is very happy where she is and never plans on leaving. Then out in space, you got Silver Surfer, who is reigniting a sun to save or to keep a micro solar system alive. I don't know why, but I did not like Mike Allred's art in FF, but I really love it in Silver Surfer. It just fits this book so...
I don't know, doesn't Silver Surfer look a little bit too, like in my opinion, a little goth, sort of, like with the eyes and stuff like that?
That's what he always looked like, dude. Where are you at?
I don't know, like I haven't read Silver Surfer books in so long, maybe that's why I feel that way.
So, Silver Surfer, after doing this deed, is chosen to be a world's champion. What was the stupid name of the world? The Empiricon. And now this is kind of where I think the artwork looked like it went on a page, and here you go. I feel like it. I'm looking at this page and I'm like, am I high? Am I drunk? What am I looking at? And apparently this is a world with everything and anything. And the only reason Silver Surfer never heard of it was because he is basically a herald to Galactus. So it was hidden away and no one's ever allowed to speak of it. The end. So why about Eve? Why about Dawn? Or why Dawn? Because Eve is traveling the world. Why so much about Dawn? So basically Dawn is sent to Empiricon as leverage. And Silver Surfer's like, what leverage do I need? I already said yes that I would help you fight against this threat, this problem. And he's like, well, because bad things happen and sometimes we need a little bit of leverage to make sure you don't flee or run away. And he's so pissed off. He's like, who did you capture? Because they said they captured somebody, a prisoner. And he's like, who did you capture? Was it my mother? Was it this person? Was it that person? And then he shows him Dawn. And he's like, well, that's interesting. I have absolutely no idea who she is.
What?
And that's where they leave you off. It was a funny kind of ending because it's like, you know, you would expect Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer was expecting it to be somebody he knows, somebody he cares about, and what's he gonna do? And then he's like, oh, it's, who is that again? Who are you? And it was funny. Out of all people, it was Dawn. Apparently, it scanned the scanner that shows the leverage. Looked into Silver Surfer's past, present, and future. So maybe Dawn is something in Silver Surfer's future.
It could be.
Because Dawn's always looked towards the stars. Whatever it was, this was a good, solid beginning to the story. At first, I'm like, what the heck's going on? Why does Silver Surfer have to be a champion to this planet that needs his help because of this evil person who's killing, and she's killing things, this queen. And Dawn, this girl who nobody even knows, she's a nobody. All of a sudden, she's this big character because now if Silver Surfer doesn't help, she's going to be trapped in this prison forever. And it's like, okay, this is good. I will be back. So Silver Surfer issue number 1 really had me, has me interested in seeing what happens next. That's really all I can say for Silver Surfer. You just got to read the book for yourself. Heavy spoilers about to come. If you do not want spoilers for this final book from Marvel, wait until I put it down and pick up Adventures of Superman, because that's what's going to start off DC. Okay, here we go. Superior Spider-Man issue 30. I'm going to start off by saying what's stupid about this book, and then, so this way it gives you... I'll explain. And this way it gives you guys enough time to fast forward through before I get into the Spider-Man issue. Now, before we get into Spider-Man, I just want to say one thing. I paid $2.99 for my book, and I'm really pissed off. Why the hell did they put Black Widow, not just a preview, not just half the book, the entire Black Widow issue? No joke, no holds barred, no missing pages, no missing anything. They put the entire issue.
Okay, I could agree that's stupid.
In this book. And guess what? No additional charge, $3.99. So I bought Black Widow issue number 1 for what? I mean, hello? I own Black Widow issue 1. Why is Black Widow doing so bad that you had to stick the entire first issue to get people interested in the book? In Spider-Man? The big issue that you know everybody's going to be reading? Is Black Widow really in that much of a dire need for a reading audience?
Probably.
I mean, I just dropped Black Widow just to find out that issue 1's in my Spider-Man. Hey, okay. No, anyway, let's get into the book. So, Superior Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099, fighting the Spider Slayers until Green Goblin says he has Anna Marie. Spider-Man runs, Doc Ock runs off to save Anna Marie. Pete's still stuck in the memories of Doc Ock. So Spider-Man 2099 stuck fighting the Spider Slayers alone. J. Jonah Jameson is in dire need. Everybody thinks he's going to, what was it, resign from office. And he's like, no, it's Alchemax's fault. And then you got Liz Allen, who's on digital, and she's like, nope, I have papers right here signed by Mayor J. Jonah Jameson to let the Spider Slayers go early. So J. Jonah Jameson has put himself in quite a hole just because of Spider-Man. And you got Spider-Man versus Menace versus Green Goblin, all to save Anna Marie. And then finally Peter Parker gets the part in Doc Ock's life where Doc Ock defeats Peter Parker and then absorbs all of his memories. Or gets into all of his memories. And you see Doc Ock going, I don't want this. And then you got Pete going, well, I do. And then you get this awesome poster splash page, which I know everybody's by now has shown on their videos or whatnot. And you got Pete who jumps out of Doc Ock's subconscious because Doc Ock is questioning whether he's going to save this little girl or not. This is the girl he saved that was suffering, that he had to use his machine on. And he's like, he's second guessing, and Pete just jumped out and goes, jump! And he actually says, you screwed up bad. And sometimes you got to be willing to sacrifice, even if you don't know, in a split situation. You can't sit there and debate, which is what I did. And I know this is going to cause a problem, and we're going to have round 2, but Doc Ock isn't going for round 2. He goes to Parker Industries, which I love. When Pete sees, he's like, wait, whoa. Parker Industries? What the what? And he's like,
and then
no time.
Also, he's like saying, I have a lab.
My lab? So Doc Ock goes into his own mind again, except this time not to fight Peter Parker. Here's the major spoiler, and if you're still watching this and you haven't read this book yet, I'm going to slap you. Seriously, don't watch this until you read the book. Fast forward till I get to the next book. Doc Ock expels himself from Peter Parker's mind.
Yes.
As we all knew, basically saying, because he is not the superior Spider-Man, who didn't see this coming, Parker is the superior Spider-Man. And then the machine goes off. You see a tear coming down Pete's face. He takes it, he looks at it, he drops it, he walks over to the closet, and guess what, everybody? What we knew was going to happen.
Back.
Peter Parker is officially back.
It's about damn time.
To be concluded. He ends it with saying it's his turn
now
against the Goblin. We don't know who the Green Goblin is yet. I was told by a few people it was revealed in here who the Green Goblin is. It is not revealed in here. We get a possibility, but we do not get a full-fledged reveal in this issue. We're probably going to get it in the final issue of Superior, whenever that comes out.
That's also another book of the week for me, tied with X Factor.
Loved it. Book of the week for me. You can't top bringing back Peter Parker. Sorry, DC. Jumping into DC, Adventures of Superman issue 11. I love these old stories with Superman. I love them to death. Don't get me wrong, but can we please stop with the Brainiac stories now? I feel like every other week, every other month, it's another Brainiac story. There are other supervillains out there, guys. You know, I do love the stories and everything, but please pick another supervillain. Please. I'm getting tired of Brainiac. So this Green Lantern comes to Earth and he begs Superman to kill him. And Superman's like, what? Why? Why would I want to kill you? And he's like, I was the Green Lantern in the sector of Krypton, and I basically was there when Krypton was destroyed. And I found out you were its sole savior. It was Brainiac who sent him to Superman. And you must kill me. I deserve it. And Superman won't do it. A big fight happens. It turns out that the Green Lantern's lantern isn't really a lantern. It's a reminder of what he did. Basically, he took a chunk of Krypton to remind himself of his failure. And we all know what Kryptonite does to Superman and to Brainiac. And the Green Lantern performs his last heroic deed, which I won't say what it is. And that's basically the end of the book. Long story short. Excellent story, however. I just wish it was something more than Brainiac. I feel like we've been force-fed Brainiac for so freaking long. I'm tired of these stories being of Brainiac. I really want something else other than Brainiac. Here's some full artwork of Superman. I just want something else other than Brainiac, guys. I mean, I love the classic Superman costume. I love the classic Superman, especially with some of the books I read this week where Superman's a pompous ass. But we really need more villains. There's Lex Luthor, there's Bizarro, which you had in an issue. There are there's Mythoflick, you haven't seen him yet. There are so many other supervillains you could pit up against Superman. New ones, Lobo, Toyman, anyone.
That one.
The Brainiac stories need to stop now so we can do something else.
Maybe Lobo, because there was lots of classic comics with Superman and Lobo, but who knows? This one was a little bit disappointing, and I can't believe I'm saying this one. All-Star Western issue number 29.
I can believe it. You did this before.
Yeah.
I want that thing in the back of the book.
Oh, yeah. But it's probably not a money. But it is interesting. So basically, we saw what happened last issue with Jonah and Jonah Hex and Gina. They went back in time. And basically, Jonah, I'll just say Jonah Hex really, is telling Gina a story, even though he's not much of a storyteller, about a fellow that he met years ago, and it's just like a whole big dialogue. If you want to read it, you can for yourself. And you know, and then it talks about how he met up with them, and how he was all this, and how he just wants to kill him for revenge and stuff, because you know that's what Jonah Hex really does. And it's just like a whole big strong dialogue. But then when his son comes in with a gun, it's now 2-on-1 where he drops the gun, Jonah Hex, and now basically they're telling him what to do. Basically they want him to dig for stuff that they're looking for. And it's a whole big thing where there was the tobacco smoke that makes them hallucinate, seeing Jonah Hex as like that, basically. So meanwhile, when they wake up, well, actually, when the story's over, actually, not wake up, when the story's over, let's just say that something happened to Gina that might go a little bit down south to probably making me drop the issue. It was interesting cliffhanger, but very disappointing. And that's why I dropped All-Star Western last time, because this story was dragging out. If you're doing that All-Star Western, I'm going to drop it again, and I'm not coming back, no matter how good it is.
Oh, just because of Booster Gold, so...
But let's hope that doesn't happen, because I'm enjoyed it.
I can't wait till this book ends either. Larfleeze issue 9... It's so stupid and so Larfleeze. It's not even funny. It was better when it was a miniseries. Larfleeze destroys the house what was the stupid house called to begin with? He takes the father and he basically destroys the Great Citadel. He destroys the Great Citadel. He wins. He reigns supreme. He takes the father away, but forgets all about Stargrave. The whole point of this was him getting Stargrave back, and even Stargrave says eventually he's going to remember that he left me here. And the Wanderer has a wedding. It was just crazy. And then the father apparently jumped into this bug's body because he's able to take a vessel. And then one of the sisters kills it. And I'm like, what? The sister killed her own father. Real nice. And then the Green Lantern shows up.
Hell?
And it's Gnort, who's the Green Lantern that was summoned in the previous issue. And
okay.
Again, it's just Larfleeze realized he forgot about Stargrave and goes back. I will say I do like this Scribble Knot figure, and that's the one I'm aiming for.
Yes, I was actually looking at that.
They showed series 1 and 2, so yeah, I definitely want that.
Well, we have to.
You have to buy it, yeah.
Yeah, and then hopefully get the lucky pick.
So I'm just glad that this. I think this is ending in the next issue. Oh my god, it's just like there's so much potential for Larfleeze, but at the same time, let's just say it's a good thing that Larfleeze is ending. It's ending and Sinestro's taking its place. That's how I'm looking at it. However, Red Lantern's issue 29. Supergirl is now a Red Lantern forever. Period. Because you can't take the ring off or else she's going to die, and there are no blue lanterns to cleanse her, so she can't be cleansed either. So Guy Gardner decides to go back to Earth and, you know, to put her in Superman's care. Superman's in this book.
Not for one page, right?
No, for a while.
Okay.
And he doesn't even know who Guy Gardner is yet. See, this is why I hate the New 52. It's like they're trying to keep status quo, but at the same time, there is no status quo. Because basically, the heroes and everything don't know each other. And they're so mean and nasty and angry. You know, Superman is saying Kara's always angry. This is a perfect example of how Superman is always angry now. This is not the Superman that I just read in Adventures of Superman. This is a pompous ass Superman, and he's another pompous ass in other books too. But anyway, Supergirl finds out that she can never take the ring off, that she's a Red Lantern forever. She freaks out, but she doesn't beat up the Red Lanterns. She beats up Superman. Who's basically, she says, you know, you treat me like I don't want to be here. I lost my planet, and she's whiny. My God, is Supergirl whiny as all hell. And Superman says, you're whining about your planet being gone, and instead of taking the acceptance, you're using it as anger instead of acceptance. So you know what? You like being with them. You're there. You can go with them. And he even tells Guy Gardner, she doesn't want me. She wants to stay with you. So you take care of her. But if anything happens to her, I will kill you. That's the long and short of it. So they go back to Yasmalt and they find Bleeze. But Bleeze ain't so good. And she actually warns the others about Atrocitus. And that's to be continued. But they got Supergirl on their side now. I don't think Atrocitus should be such a big problem anymore.
Not really, no.
So, that's the long and short of this issue. Guy Gardner going to Earth to tell Superman, hey, your cousin kind of became a Red Lantern and you want to take care of her? Kara going, shit, no. And Superman going, you know what? She's just going to keep slapping me around. I can't control her. She's all yours, but if you screw up, I'll kill you. I'll find you. And he has an attitude, of course. Who didn't see that coming? So that's the Red Lanterns.
Yeah, let's see.
Take it for what it is. I just pray to God, Supergirl. I mean, this is Red Daughter of Krypton, so of course she's going to be a main, the main focal point of the story arc. But I hope now that she's part of the Red Lanterns, that she doesn't become the focal point of the whole series. And then we have 2 Supergirl books, because then, forget it. Red Lanterns is doomed. Speaking of Superman, however, Superman 29. Superman and Starfire get into a wee bit of a fight because Superman thinks that Starfire wants to kill the human beings who are basically trying to hurt the human race. He's like, I'm not going to have any of that. And then it turns out they're not human beings. They're actually Daxamites.
How is Starfire in this issue where she's in the Red Hood comic book?
Don't worry. So,
wondering.
It turns out that the people that she's fighting against and that Superman is essentially fighting against are hosts for a alien life form, the Daxamites, basically. And Cat Grant gets visited by Morgan Edge. She turns him down. He says, well, this is a bad decision and an unfortunate decision for everyone. And he drives off, so I actually want to see. I'm actually more interested in what's going to develop with the Cat Grant, Clark Kent, Morgan Edge thing more than anything else. Of course, we all know Morgan Edge is dark, and I hope that when he gets found out and sent to jail, the Daily Planet goes back to Perry White, Clark goes back to the Daily Planet, and everything's hunky-dory. But anyway, you have Starfire versus the Daxamites. She wants to kill him. Superman wants to save them, and he brings them to Star Labs, and they say to him as well, they cannot be saved. And Superman's like, I don't believe these people can't be helped. She's like, you can super believe whatever you like, but with no understanding of how they came to this condition, I'm afraid there's nothing we can do. So nobody respects Superman at all. Nobody likes him at all.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
And then basically it's just a message. I'm not going to say the rest of it. It's basically just a message that the Daxamites were sending to Superman and essentially the rest of the world. Lois still has these psychic powers. I'm not going to explain her scene. We get to see Blackfire in this issue. And we get to see Lord Hellspawn again. However, In the next issue, the reason why I say all this, it doesn't matter because the story's over, because the next issue is the prologue to Doomed. Oh, how uncomfortable I am feeling when I say this, but the next story arc is Doomed. It's going through the 2 Superman titles, plus Superman, Wonder Woman, and not comfortable. Not comfortable with this Doomed story arc. I'm hoping it's not as bad as it's looking to be, but...
Yeah. And this was almost my book of the week, but this was really amazing. He-Man the Master of the Universe, issue number 11. King Rander is now the new villain, King Hiss, so they say. And there's just so much that's going on. First of all, here's this great splash page.
Did the artwork change? Let me see.
The artwork changed in a fantastic way, actually.
Wow! That is a lot better than what it was.
That was. I was just about to say that. And he's just saying, you know, oh, King Rander's dead. I'm now the ruler of all the Snake Men, and yada yada yada. Talks about his like himself, that no mere mortal could ever wield such power like I have. And Moss Man's trying to tell Tila?
Tila.
Yeah, I thought I remembered Tila. That, you know, this is the underworld, the circle of death, which is why because so many things are happening with King Rander. And then they said, like, you know, like Mossman's trying to say King Rander's dead, and there's no way of him returning. And it's just really just a whole big fight scene between He-Man and King Hiss. So there was this one page that was actually kind of a little disturbing, where he turns into the regular Hiss, and he wants to defeat him because the gate that opened, He-Man is the only person that can open it. So with his energy, he can open the gates to the other world. And Tila wanted to stop him, but Mossman didn't want to because she might have gotten hurt or something. So they're opening, I think, to Eternity or something like that. Eternia. It said right here. So his powers is to open up Eternia, and along with the Starseed, they want to plant there as well. Which, that can't be good. And now, it's Tila and the rest fighting the Snake Men. Until to be continued. It really built up really nicely, and the artwork changed for the better, so I'll definitely be picking up the next issue, seeing what's going to happen and everything.
Speaking of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the final issue of DC Universe versus the Masters of the Universe came out this week as well. And it ends in basically what it says here, Dark Orko versus everyone. Superman is saved by He-Man. Batman talks, what's her name, Black Alice into freeing everybody who's being mind controlled by Dark Orko. He-Man gives Superman the sword, the Gray Skull sword, because Superman can't fight magic. And Skeletor wants to take the magic away from Orko. Some good artwork. And they all know now that Orko really didn't turn bad. He was forced to turn bad because of the skull. They destroy the skull. However, you got Skeletor and Orko still fighting, or evil Orko still fighting for the power. Yeah, John Constantine is in it also. They basically disappear. They don't know where they went. And He-Man swears that once they win they get Eternia back from Hordak, the first thing they're going to do is save Orko. They're going to find him, and they're not just going to leave him, basically. And that's really it. And basically nothing's going to happen in the DC universe, but obviously this will play a huge role in the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe book once this story arc with getting Hordak out of Eternia and taking Eternia back. This is going to be probably the next story arc, or the follow-up story arc, where they're going to go on a quest to find Orko. So I'm going to look forward to when that happens in He-Man. And we are almost out of time. I'm going to do this book before we get into Forever Evil. Hopefully we'll have time. The Flash, issue 29. Flash finds a way to stop the Ghost. Once and for all, the House of Mystery shows up. Deadman brings in the House of Mystery. we find out that, oh God, what's his name?
Barry?
No, Barry, yeah. He finds out that, oh, what's the officer's name now? I can't. Captain Frey faked, what do you call it? A paternity test, making it look like he was the last in a bloodline and he was Barry's father. Turns out he's not Barry's father. He was faking that to protect Barry from the ghost. However, he is the last of the bloodline, but he's able to trap the ghost using his super speed. I love the artwork here. The last page is what makes this book really important to read. You have the captain talking with Barry's father, and he says, no matter what happens, no matter how many times Barry asks, we can never tell him who really killed Nora. And while this is going on, I want you to notice the purple lightning outside of the prison, and then right outside the window, the purple lightning. Why do I get this weird feeling that this purple lightning is symbolic towards something? You see it, right? It's not regular lightning, and it's only over the jail cell right now. So I find this very interesting and very no, I'll make you a bet half the people that read this book didn't even notice it. I just noticed the purple light. Sorry about that, guys. The other camera died right as we were supposed to switch anyway. So again, just in case it cut off, because I did not get to see the last part of where the camera cut off, I want you guys to remember at the end of the flash to remember and notice the purple lightning over the prison and in the window where it makes that lightning effect just like the flash. Because I have a feeling that purple lightning is going to play into something in the future with the flash. Now, with this story done, I feel like the story arc was very weak. Very just like there, and really the only purpose of it is that last page where we know that the captain and Barry's father know who the killer is, but they can never tell Barry. Why? We don't know. Maybe they know that Barry they know about Flash. Maybe they know about the Flashpoint, and they know that Barry basically had to let his mom die in order to restore balance, and then of course Pandora screwed everything up. But beside the point, or maybe somebody else killed. Maybe it was Reverse Flash. We don't know. All we know is that, well, maybe it's not anymore because that was kind of undone when they did Flashpoint. So I don't know. All I do know is that purple lightning has to be some type of a symbolic thing. I just want to make sure you guys know that. Other than that, the story arc was okay. It was 3 issues, nothing special. Now, Mike, you have 2 Forever Evil books, and then I have an ending to mine.
Well, this is Forever Evil Blight, by the way.
The final issue of Blight.
Yeah. Justice League Dark issue number 29, which is my book of the week. And it was very interesting in a way of how they actually concluded this, where, first of all, there are 2 John Constantines, which kind of explain more in the issue of, how there are 2 of them. Like, you have one that's with Pandora that killed Dr. Faust, where the other Constantine is with Zatanna. Here's some artwork, which is drawn fantastically awesome. There is a word, fantastically awesome, I just made it up. And then, all of a sudden, you get 2 Constantines going at each other, and Constantine actually makes this huge sacrifice, and that's not the real one. That's actually the one that was the demon kind, and it was actually sacrificing himself to save the rest of the Justice League Dark team. Therefore, they're all together now again. So that Constantine was trying to prove to Zatanna that he would do what the real Constantine should have done. Basically, it's like a whole big thing. You could read it for yourself if you want to find out. But there's just so much anger that Constantine has in this issue, and now the 3 demons are fighting them, and there's like a whole big thing about that. So now there's this other another dimension that's opening up, and Phantom Strange doesn't want to do it because it might, it could tear down the very walls of reality. So Zatanna takes the risk, and Phantom Stranger couldn't believe how it actually worked, in a way. And at the end of the issue, this is what really got me. Zatanna and Constantine have a heated argument, and if you don't want no spoilers, you can fast forward this. Constantine leaves the Justice League Dark team, meaning leaving Zatanna, and now the House of Mystery belongs to Zatanna. Now it's a new beginning for Justice League Dark. What a way to end it. I thought they were just going to end it where they were going to just have the Crime Syndicate on a nice silver plane and just throw them away forever.
I kind of called it, though. I figured that Constantine has his own book. Figured Constantine, Pandora, and Phantom Stranger all have their own book. And Phantom Stranger and Pandora weren't part of a Justice League Dark.
No,
now Constantine won't be part of Justice League Dark. Because he's going to have his own book, his own stories, and it won't collide with what's going on in Justice League Dark.
Yeah, but the way Constantine's going, it's going... So
that's not my problem.
I'm just saying, But you're going to go back to reading Pandora.
I'm probably going to end up dropping Pandora after the next issue.
Drop Pandora, but I'm going to still stick with Phantom Stranger, Justice League Dark, and Constantine, maybe, if it doesn't go on the
Same thing with Pandora. If it picks up from where it left off, we'll see. If not...
And we conclude Forever Evil August 6 of 6, where we get all the answers and everything that we...
And it actually connects to JLA.
And it does connect to JLA, by the way. So, they first go to the green room where they talk about some histories about August, like what it was before. I like this page right here, which shows the Justice League with great artwork included there as well. So, there's just like a whole thing about this Master Key, and then Steve Trevor goes to the sisters, and he wants to have more time for what he was supposed to do, like as a purpose, basically, and he just gets out of there with Frost and everything because he was almost killed by Dr. Light, and he wants to talk to him and try to help him with what's been going on. So Killer Frost and Dr. Light have a big, huge fight with each other, and Steve Trevor came to his senses, like saying, that he's really dead, because he didn't believe he was, but after all that, and using the lasso of trust from
we actually find something out right before the Justice League War.
Yeah, that Wonder Woman moved on.
No, but he said, "Tell me you don't love me." She's like, "Of course I love you, but I moved on."
And so should the Colonel Steve Trevor, basically. So now there's just a whole big thing where now Steve Trevor and Killer Frost are teaming up with each other.
But this is going to lead into the Justice League book.
Yeah, there's I don't want to spoil it though, but there's just a whole thing where August will evolve again, and there's going to be a next evolution, and that leads into Forever Evil and Justice League.
Well, Forever Evil for what's going on with Steve Trevor, but I think Justice League is this page.
Yes, so it was really interesting series. I do give it a mix between a 3.5 to 4 out of 5 for the whole series. So it was okay. I would have to say you should definitely read it if you've been collecting it all along. If not, wait for the trade paperback to come out.
And as your miniseries ends, so does mine. Forever Evil Rogues Rebellion, issue number 6 of 6. The Rogues versus basically everyone they've been fighting, plus Gorilla Grodd. And they have the Pied Piper on their side now. So this basically tells you how much of an all-out brawl this is. Is a brawl. It's crazy. So the Rogues are fighting the all the supervillains that were sent in front of him. Pied Piper breaks his promise to Mirror Master and actually decides to go back and help them fight all these supervillains instead of protecting Lisa. But Lisa's pretty safe, actually. As a matter of fact, thanks to the Pied Piper, he has a major spoiler alert. Glider's back. The music actually brings her back, and the Rogues lost her actually during the Rogues one shot in during Villains Month. So they lost her. She died. She basically went back into her coma without being, because she's projecting herself. Her real body is in a coma. Glider sacrificed her astrological form to bring Mirror Master out of the mirror world. So she breaks Mirror Master's doubt, which was what was holding him back and his reason why he couldn't control the mirror world. And basically she just leads the rogues into stopping the supervillains once and for all. Amazing. She came back and in literally one page she instructs the rogues on exactly what to do and how to win. And the rogues win. Kinda. Because now Central City is anything but in good shape. But the rogues are actually seen as heroes instead of villains. And they actually, and Mirror Master was actually saying, I don't want, when all is said and done, I don't want the world to believe the rogues were behind the crime syndicate and all the supervillains. As a matter of fact, we're the opposite. We are not a part of the crime syndicate. We want to help the people, and they did. And it just ends with a big old standing full page art. Of course, we know Captain Cold is with Lex Luthor in Forever Evil, and we don't know what happened to Heatwave, but I have a feeling we'll be seeing him at some point again. Even Mirror Master says all he has to do is call, and we'll be there if he's still out there somewhere. So it was an awesome ending. Again, Gorilla Grodd was beaten very easily, though. He did not really need to be a focal point of this series at all. Like the way Gorilla Grodd's one-shot made it look like he was going to be going up against the Rogues, like as a fight, and it didn't happen really that way. He got shot off in the mirror world with everybody else at the end, which of course I'm sure they'll all come back at some point. But beside the point, though, I like this issue. Glider's back, so for those of you that were upset that we lost Glider, she's back. Captain Cold, however, still does not have his powers anymore. Now he needs his cold gun again. And he's not going to be rejoining the Rogues anyway. Maybe with Pied Piper making his appearance now, he'll become one of the Rogues, because Captain Cold is going to become part of the Justice League.
Right.
After Forever Evil. This was a nice issue. The miniseries, in whole, I would say, because of the two middle issues, a 3.5 to 4 star out of 5 star miniseries. Did you need this for Forever Evil to be connected to know what's going on in Forever Evil? No, you didn't need this. You absolutely didn't need Arkham War. And you really didn't need A.R.G.U.S either. It connected to Justice League of America a little
really
bit.
Firestorm and the Matrix, basically.
Yeah. They were little... This definitely not. Arkham, absolutely not. Arkham War had no place in Forever Evil, really. That title, Forever Evil, should have been taken off. And as a matter of fact, it was so on its own that they had to do a one-shot to truly conclude Arkham War next month. That's how far off it was from Forever Evil. But they're nice miniseries. If you're a fan of the Rogues, you'll be picking this up. If you're a fan of Steve Trevor, you'll be picking that up. If you're a fan of the Batman villains, you'll be picking Arkham War up. I'll be getting the one-shot because I need my conclusion now. But this was my favorite miniseries out of all the stuff that came out for Forever Evil. You didn't need Suicide Squad's tie-in. That's abso-freaking-lutely for sure. That was a waste of money in my opinion. What other books connected? Teen Titans, briefly, which really it didn't even matter because Teen Titans kind of spun off into their own story arc from what happened in Forever Evil, if that makes sense.
And Forever Evil Blight series?
Blight was its own story with the dark and the magic side of the DC Universe, so...
Right.
Once again, all you needed was Forever Evil, Justice League, and Justice League of America, and you had the entire story, and you didn't even really need Justice League of America because it all went into a full circle.
With just Stargirl and
yeah, it was basically Stargirl and Martian Manhunter going in a full circle. So, in the end, you just need Justice League and Forever Evil, and you're golden. Literally, you're golden. So that's it for this week's comic review, guys. Remember, next week, the comic review will not be up on Monday morning. It will begin starting next week to go up on Tuesday mornings again. Just because it gives us an extra day to read the books. We don't have to power through them like we've been doing. And the only reason, actually, I was going to start this week, but because I got through my books pretty fast this weekend, for some weird reason, we did it today. If we get through our books really fast, we'll do it on a Monday. The video will be up on a Monday morning. If we don't, Tuesday is the date we're setting it for from now on.
But you'll probably mention your comic book haul.
I'll mention it again. But just remember, next Tuesday, not Monday. But it'll be up Tuesday morning, absolutely. Also, don't forget to check out ComicFrontline.com and ComicRelated.com. Together, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Guys, there's a comment box under this video. Please feel free to leave your comments, your likes, dislikes, agree, disagree with what any of our opinions are, your opinions, your personal opinions on any of these books, recommendations, and your comments will be heard on this Friday's weekly comic book call, where I will be answering any questions, any comments, any recommendations, etc. So please let your voice be heard, and it will be heard on the weekly comic review haul. Other than that, if you're new to this channel, please do click the sub button. This way I'm in your sub box and you don't miss out on a single video. Got the indie review, the comic review, the haul, and very soon the Dark Avenger podcast will be coming. The Outside the Pages / Comics.3 podcast that I'm working on. Some top stuff in the distant future. And we still got Comic Book Corner. We got a couple episodes to do. And we're going to be continuing Comic Book Corner, like I said, whenever a book's reviewed on Frontline that we want to review, we'll do it on here too. And I feel like I'm missing a series. Oh, and Dark Avenger live at some point. We'll do some live shows, I'm sure. So that's not gone either. So until next time, everybody, keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you guys really soon in the next review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.